first of all, hello.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Very well.
Good.
Tell me about these fridges, first of all.
I've been using these for a good few years now, going back to when I was at the Ivy and when I was working around the group within Caprice Holdings. Jeff, who was one of the directors, hounded me for a long time to look at the bits of kit. When I eventually got to look at them, I was very impressed. Off the back of that, I used them in my own restaurant, Bird Smithfield. I think I had a dozen throughout the building. And the reason I use them is their flexibility and reliability. You can use them as a fridge, you can use them as a freezer, and there's also the facility to have a blast chiller as well. So if you're running a business and one day you need to close for a bank holiday, you can switch what was a fridge over to a freezer to preserve the product, to get more longevity out of it. It works in the way that when you open the drawer out, all of the cold air doesn't fall out because it's in a drawer. It uses less energy to regenerate that cold air again, and consequently any proteins or any high value products stay fresher for longer, and you get more money for your buck out of it, and that's why I use them.
It's a wonderful product. So, chef-wise, who's inspired you in your career, and what captured you very early on and said, I want to be that person?
My earliest influences from chefs that I'd seen on TV and stuff like that, Graham Kerr, the Galloping Gourmet. I thought, what a glamorous life to be cooking all this food and a glass of wine in one hand. Then naturally the next person was Keith Floyd, a real character in himself, a great cook, raconteur, you name it. I loved his style. And then obviously that was the early stages of people like the Roux brothers being on TV, Gary Rhodes, a lot of big names that are still around to this day. Raymond Blanc, at Le Manoir Cat Saison. I've still got his first book. Those are the people that inspired me. Right,
we're moving on. 20 years old, 22 years old. We're coming out the Goring Hotel. Where we go next?
So I'd written a book. I'd read a book by Nico Ladenis called My Gastronomy, and it changed my life really in terms of what I understood food to be about. So I wrote a letter in the days when you used to write letters, not emails, and I was surprised when I got a reply back from Nico and said, come and see me.
Wow.
And Nico's reputation preceded him. He didn't suffer fools gladly, so I knew I was in for a grilling from the moment I walked in that door. And sure enough, he stood at the bar, leaning on the bar, looking me up and down, assessing what I was about, and said to me, "So Alan, tell me about cooking. What does it mean to you?" And I just explained that I was working at Goring, and he said, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 24. He said, "I'm not sure if I can teach you. You have a lot of good ideas about food already." And I said, "Well, I'm willing to learn." And the rest is history.
And was that on the Park Lane? Nico Park Lane?
No, that was Rochester Row, just around the corner from Westminster Kingsway College.
Wow. So did you ever work with Paul Rhodes? Because he was the head chef at that
Paul was
time,
after me.
Wow.
Paul came later. I started at Simply Nico. He had 1 Michelin star. Within 6 months we got 2 Michelin stars. Then we moved from there to Great Portland Street.
So you got into the hot box of the Ivy kitchen, which was a hot box to be
Absolutely,
fair.
yeah.
And who was on the jump then? Was it Mark Hicks?
No, before then it was Tony Howarth. So Tony Howarth was running the kitchen. Mark had just started at Le Caprice, and Tony was running the Ivy. And I remember that first night I stood in the kitchen, and it was a Saturday night on service, pre-theatre, and I just looked around and I thought, this is the last place I want to be on earth. And I went back to Nico and told him that, and Nico said,
"Crack on.
I think you need to go there, Alan, it'll be the making of you." And he was right.
And would these have come in handy at that point?
These bits of kit have followed me ever since I've been aware of them, and like I say, we've used them in so many different situations. They're brilliant for service situations, they're brilliant for pastry sections. Pastry chefs love them because they can get all of their ice creams and sorbets lined up, all the mise en place. They can make all their pastries, get them all chilled down or frozen down, whatever they can do.
So we're at the Ivy Chef. Talk to me about celebs. Tell me what celebs you cook for, Alan Bird.
Yes, so everyone always wants to know about the celebs, and you couldn't really talk about it at the time, but
you can now though.
Yeah, everyone from Madonna coming in and getting a phone call from her chef, Donatella Versace's coming in. You've got to cook a pasta dish that her grandma used to cook. No pressure for Madonna and all of her guests. If you mess this up, and did it, did this pasta dish. I think finished off with caviar and Tom Cruise, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, you name them, A-list Hollywood.
Just keep name dropping, chef. And tell me the truth, I don't really book, do they? Just turn up and go, I'm that, and they just let you in, is that right?
I think there was always 1 or 2 tables kept back for those sort of premium couples. And I remember friends of mine saying to me, we're coming next Sunday, make sure Tom Cruise is there. And they sat next to Tom Cruise.
Wow.
They thought I'd sorted it out. It was just by chance.
Right, chef, finally, what's the strap line for a Dande? I know it's a fantastic unit. I've got great friends, Brian at the Smoking Goat. Great unit, just for chilling down glasses he uses it for. It is a wonderful unit.
Yeah. I think what's great about these units are they're reliable, they're well made, they're well designed, energy efficient, they'll do a job for anyone, and as the strap line goes, they're the secret ingredient that a lot of chefs need in their kitchen because they are so flexible. They'll use less energy, they'll make it more efficient, and you've got that flexibility, freezing, refrigeration and blast chilling, and they're built to last.
You heard it here first. Thank you very much.